please welcome to the stage Mr. Sandy Reisky.
The road ahead, industry energy policy. Drill, mine, and burn coal, oil, and gas. Caution, pollution and climate change expected. For the past 100 years, fossil fuels have been at the center of our energy policy. It feels like they will be for the next 100. Even though we know now there are serious issues with continuing on the same road, seems like change in our energy policy is difficult and out of our control. This presentation is about what we can do as individuals. So an alternate route, new technology that's cleaner, better, and cheaper is on the next exit. So there are new technologies and new products that we can choose. I'm going to focus on transportation and electricity generation. I'm also going to talk about what a clean energy future could look like and why it's a worthy goal. So let's start with transportation. Electricity is truly cheaper than gasoline. This is a Nissan Leaf. It will save you $9,100 over 5 years, according to the EPA. That's the sticker that's on the car when you buy it. That's interesting, and there are many other interesting things about electric cars. First of all, as a driver, you're going to reduce your price uncertainty. Fossil fuels have a tendency to be volatile and unpredictable, and electricity does not have that same characteristic. There's also convenience. You know, every night when you go home with an electric car, you just plug it in. When you wake up in the morning, you've got a full battery, and you can count on that. A lot of times when you hop in a car that uses gasoline, often you forgot that you need to tank up first, and so that's going to be your first errand. I think it's also interesting you can relax. We can all quit our part-time jobs, right? We all pump gas part-time. The average driver over a career will go to the gas station about 2,000 times. That's a lot of time. And frankly, and this is what's really important, is that electric vehicles are cleaner. Our electricity grid is getting cleaner and cleaner over time. There's less coal that's being used and more renewables. It's a mix, really, of nuclear and hydroelectric and wind, solar, and natural gas. On the other hand, oil tends to be getting dirtier over time as we go further and further into the Gulf of Mexico to get it, or into the tar sands of Canada. So those are things to keep in mind. Now I'm going to really go fast here through the types of cars that you can choose. The first two are plug-ins, plug-in hybrids. That means they use both gasoline and electricity. The next is the Chevy Volt, and it also is going to save you money, about almost $7,000 over 5 years to use a Chevy Volt. The Nissan Leaf, we've talked about, it's all electric. It has a range of about 75 miles. So the average person is going to be driving 37 miles, according to the U.S. Department of Transportation, 37 miles a day. So with a range of 75 miles, a car like this will be appropriate for a lot of people. The Ford is very similar, about 75-mile range, also similar savings. And then you get to the Tesla. This car is very similar to a BMW or Mercedes in how it feels, a luxury car. But it has a range of 265 miles. So it is one of the first electric cars that truly has no compromises and can get you from A to B very comfortably, and in this case, even faster than those cars I mentioned. Moving from transportation to electricity generation, I'm going to talk a little bit about the industry of utility scale production of electricity, and then we're going to talk about residential solar. So clean energy is viable economically, and the proof is in the numbers. Globally, we're building about $200 billion of wind and solar. Wind has been growing at a rate of around 21% over last year, basically, and you can see that's been fairly consistent. And solar, even faster than that, almost exactly double. So these technologies are proven. They're being implemented at scale all around the globe in large quantities. They're delivering significant amounts of energy to the grid. And the reason they're being adopted so quickly is that they are cost effective. So we can see here, over here on this pie chart, wind power has captured 35% market share in this country for the past 5 years running. That's the average, 35% market share. Last year, it was actually 42%. So wind power is going in the right direction, and the reason why is quite simply cost. It's very economic. You can see each of the various technologies here, the choices we have to generate electricity, everything from natural gas and coal and the rest. Wind is the green one here. Solar is the one with the orange bit at the end. Very compelling, even without subsidies. Wind power in a place like Oklahoma would only be about 5 cents a kilowatt hour, and that's a price to the utility, 5 cents a kilowatt hour, that is fixed for 20 years. So there's no fuel inputs. You can offer that type of pricing. Solar, just like wind, is being implemented at scale in places like Nevada or California, Arizona, in the desert Southwest. A couple of miles, square miles of desert will get you a utility scale energy generating facility. And I think it's pretty amazing because the solar panels, you put them out there and that's what they do. There's nothing happening, right? No moving parts and almost no maintenance. So as they've gotten cheaper and cheaper, this is a very compelling source of energy. And what's compelling for us, all of us here in the audience, is that distributed energy is now an option. Distributed solar power. This is a graph of, in California, a program they call solar leasing. This is where a company will go to a homeowner and say, I will lease your solar panel, use solar panels up on your roof, and you'll save money on your electricity bill. You have no upfront costs, you just pay monthly. And what's fascinating about this is the rate of adoption. It's been growing very quickly. That's about 1 year's time. It's now at $100 million per month. So that's over $1 billion a year of this residential solar going in California. It's kind of a tipping point, I think. So we can decide, and we can choose also to be more energy efficient and to put insulation in our homes. These things are our choices. And so there is a clean energy exit ahead. It's reliable and affordable and ready today. I want to talk very quickly about the future. I think that there is a future that can be 100% clean. And I want to talk about what that would look like. I'm going to go back to this slide. You see this happy couple here. They have a Nissan Leaf, and they have solar panels. The missing piece is batteries. If they had batteries in their basement, then this future could be ours. And by the time we get to all of us doing that, I don't know if that's 100 years away or 50 or 25, but I think we should try to make it 25. And here's why. It's an attractive goal. You wouldn't have mountaintop removal, zero particulate emissions, zero smog, zero nuclear meltdowns and radioactive toxic waste, zero fracking water usage and zero fracking water pollution, zero seismic issues, zero mercury emissions. Remember that 72% of mercury pollution comes from coal-fired power plants. So in this world, we would be able to eat tuna fish again and that type of thing. Zero oil wars, zero oil imports, zero commodity price swings. You have fixed pricing, really, because there's no fuel cost. Zero tar sands, zero tailpipe emissions. So just think about it. We'd no longer be bringing pollutants into our cities where we all live every time we turn on our car. And 0 gallons of water used. Now, this is significant. 47%, so about half of the water that is consumed by thermal energy generation. So that's coal and natural gas and nuclear. You really wouldn't have that anymore because solar and wind don't use water as part of their processes. So cheap and clean domestic energy is scaling up right now, and it's changing the way power's made. So I'd like to talk about how attitudes matter. Changing behavior is the quickest and easiest way for us to change our energy future. You know, how we talk and think about energy is very important. And we need to improve what I would call our energy ethic. So in a similar manner to how things have changed because of recycling or the buy local movement, an energy ethic, I think, would change policy and politics, and we would move quicker in the direction that we need to. So your choices will drive energy markets, shape policy, and create our future. The way you vote in this case is with your wallet. Buy solar panels, buy an electric car, choose Energy Star appliances, and save money. Thank you.